turns me and all of us out there. We're live?
Yeah, we got 5 minutes
So now you
gotta share it.
Yeah, now you can sit there on your phone. Act like we ain't engaging.
Yeah.
We're in New Jersey. Well, I was just being
Pick your nose a little bit.
Let's go, Carl. So where did that name come from?
We'll tell you after.
You didn't watch the first episode, man?
Yeah, but I didn't watch.
I thought you said you watched the first episode.
Is it an hour?
It was like right in the
Is it
beginning.
an hour long? I did not watch an hour long.
It's right in the first like 5 minutes of the show.
I'll be straight up. I didn't watch an hour
You
long.
watched 30 seconds.
I can't talk to y'all for 5 minutes without wanting to leave.
Because we're going to cut
I'm
it
just kidding.
short.
Just kidding. Huh?
We're going to cut it here short today, I guess.
Yeah, right. All right. That's all we got, folks. Thanks.
See you later.
This is our guest. Goodbye.
Huh? Who, me?
Won't you back up?
Scoot in closer to Brandon, man.
I don't want to be that close to him. He got cooties.
Oh, what, you making out with him or
Yeah.
what? I wouldn't be worried about it.
I got to get my free ride somehow.
Fuck her up, honey. Anyways. I guess we need to do this so we can see all the comments. We're not on our phones to disengage. We're on our phones to see the comments. There are no comments.
Not yet.
Huh?
Not yet.
That's right.
Oh, can you hear the fan?
Huh?
Or are you doing a fan block?
You talking about this one?
Is it loud?
You can hear that one.
Can you hear that one? Is it bad?
Oh, we're about to sweat.
Well, listen to it. See if it's something you can't edit out.
There it is. It's pretty loud. It's crazy because it's pretty
Derek Edwards is slow, bro.
Is he watching?
Yeah, he's talking to her.
Well, ask everybody if the fans are too loud. We need to turn them
Oh,
off.
the fan's too loud.
Let's kick it off and see what happens.
It's only 100 degrees.
We
in
got
here.
troublemaker going in.
Who's that?
Mr. Jones.
Oh.
He's watching now.
He's watching.
Yeah.
Here.
14 people.
And that stuff lies.
What?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, it does?
Yeah. That's
Can you see it direct on there?
Yeah.
Like after you can see how many people actually watched.
Not just clicked it.
Right.
Because right now it's steady. Oh, now it's at 12.
Now we're down to 11 because we turned the fan on.
Hey, James is watching.
Zach is faster than Brandon.
That's true.
And what, a Ford Ranger?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
That's true.
You should let Zach drive that bomber. Oh, wait. You probably won't have a bomber left.
Hey, that was my first ever race.
No, it wasn't.
At Eastway it was. Besides a go-kart.
You're something grateful.
Hey,
Let's try to help out, bro. You know what I'm saying?
So when you gonna put him in the 602?
I was just trying to make something happen.
We'll find a super to put him in.
I was just trying to, make something happen. I didn't want to hit some guy that I didn't know. Locked up the brakes a little bit too hard. Spun out. It happened.
He wouldn't even hit the gas.
No, I was hitting the gas.
I said on a late model.
Oh. Yeah, I probably wouldn't.
He'd touch it and that car would roll over and he'd be like, now set that back down.
Yeah.
Let's idle around.
Just go all around, make some laps. Maybe open it up on the back stretch.
Ryan Williams is watching. Look at this goofy guy.
He sucks too.
Yeah.
Brian sucks. He put shocks on wrong.
Okay. I don't even want to know that story.
Great Nationals, man. If your out spacers are in between,
Yeah.
he put it on the outside of the bracket.
Really?
So Shock was doing this. Said, who put Shock on? The only guy touched Shock the whole week.
Wrong show I am watching.
Oh my god.
It is hot.
Go ahead,
I was
Josh.
on low last time.
You ready?
Ready, baby.
What episode is this?
11.
No, 12.
12?
Yeah, 12.
12.
12.
Yeah, you want to see the first
12
one.
with you.
Episode 12, Let's Go Carl podcast. We got our special guest Steve Brendle in today. I'm Big Carl.
I'm Well, Carl.
I'm almost Carl.
Am I hardware Carl?
Yes, you are.
Hardware Carl?
These nuts, Carl. We had a couple different names. These nuts, Carl. Bolts, Carl, or hardware, Carl.
Hardware car, it's got a ring.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
it. That's catchy.
Nobody likes mine.
Gotta turn that down, bro.
Yeah, I'll be echoing.
Zach just wants to name a Carl.
Yeah, I just want to get one chance.
One chance.
Yeah, one chance. I have my one chance, and apparently
One chance, Carl.
Yeah.
Anything you put him in, he wrecks.
Yeah.
Wreck-It Ralph, Carl.
So, anyways, we're gonna start with the show. A couple sponsors: RCP America, Barstow Motorsports, Candace Keeley, and Brad Lampert from United Rentals for helping us out with this. And ATC, he came on. You know what I'm saying? Without them guys, we couldn't do what we do: make shirts and hand out some stickers and just have some fun bullshitting on a Sunday
Heck yeah.
And sweating.
and sweating our butts off.
Did we decide how we want to do the questions? We're doing back and forth this time, or how you want to do it?
I mean,
Or do you want me to just
you want
ask?
to talk about your street stock, or you just want to forget about it? Or
I
what?
say we just get into the guests. So
We don't want to talk about it.
we can get into the extracurriculars afterwards.
Okay. Well, this is Steve Brendle, Hardware Carl.
Hardware Carl.
Okay. Go ahead, Bob. You can start one.
The first question: where are you from?
I am from Tampa, Florida. Born and raised here.
And tell everybody what you race and where you race at.
So, I raced go-karts a long time ago. For a couple years. Actually, the same time you were racing, but you were in a different class, I
I
think.
was younger.
Yeah.
You're old.
Yeah. Actually, my birthday's coming up, so. But I race late models right now. I've always raced 604 late models. I race for Sean Smith right now. I used to race for myself.
Shout out.
Shout out Sean Smith.
But we got another badass because he drives a late model too.
You're a badass.
I'm not.
Brandon badass because he drives a
I'm
late
not.
model. You're a badass because you drive a late model.
And he drives a small one.
I just fuck up a lot faster. In a faster race car, that's all. But I raced probably 5 years, I think, for myself. And then I sold it all to start my business.
Why did you do business? What made you want to do it?
So it's kind of a long, drawn-out story, but in a nutshell, the guy, Innovator Race Cars, Anthony Corson,
Mhm.
he was redoing my car up there in Lake City, and he had this genius idea to come up with ATC bolts, and I told him I wanted to be a South dealer. So I was all right, so I'll sell bolts down here in the South, and you sell bolts up there in the North, whatever. Like, I don't know, a year goes by, and he didn't sell anything, and I didn't. I sold a few things here and there. And he called me up. I was like, dude, we got to get some more stuff. Trying to get things rolling. And he called me. And he's like, do you want to just buy the business from me? And I was like, yeah, because I had a vision of how it was going to go. Long story short, I traded in my race car and a lot of my racing stuff for it, and some cash on top and all that other crap. And then, and I don't know, I just didn't have any race car stuff anymore, and then I started doing this, and I have no idea what I'm doing still. I just kind of let her rip.
I mean, from you starting, a couple years ago to now, man, you're really shooting off.
Smoke and mirror, but we're doing our best.
I mean, bro, every time I watch Flow, you see ATC. You're on every late model basically now.
Yeah,
Straight stocks. I mean, you're everywhere.
it's exciting because I've got to do a lot of stuff that I've never ever even dreamt about doing.
Right.
I mean, we sponsored the Bristol Nationals
That's cool.
2 years ago. When I walk into the Bristol Nationals, I've never been into, and you see ATC bolts up on the jumbotron.
Yeah.
You start thinking, man,
You got a little tickle, didn't you?
yeah,
You made it to the big leagues.
I did. I made the big leagues.
I might not be great racing, but I made it.
I made it. But stuff like that, we got to do the Dirt Million last year and sponsor that. We got to do the Colossal 100 at Charlotte. We got to do the Gateway Nationals. That was a big one. That one was really cool. That one was almost like a Super Bowl.
I'm sure you sold a lot of bolts.
I sold a lot of crap. It took me 2.5 days to get there. And I think I spent like $4,000 in fuel to get there and come home.
I mean, you went from working a regular job.
Yeah. Actually, cool story. I worked the ring pyre, same as all these guys.
I mean, when you came up with the idea, how did it go? Did you come home, you talked to your wife, and was like, listen, I'm going to quit my daily job, and I'm just going to start this business that...
So, when Anthony talked... excuse me. I partied last night, my throat's hurting. So, the last year before I quit, Anthony started this deal, and I was like sitting on the back of my race car trailer. I was thinking, I'm like, man, this could be something big, like really big. And my wife walks out there, and she thought it was kind of a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, honey, this is gonna pay the bills one day. And as soon as I said that, it clicked in my mind. I was like, you better do it now.
Yeah.
There ain't no going back. So, and it's been paying the bills it's been since 2019, technically, I think.
Right.
But I quit my job in 2021, I'm sorry. May of 2021. So it's been 2 years.
Okay.
2 years going strong. But we're growing every day. We have some big opportunities presenting itself. We do a lot of retail stuff right now. But we're looking to get as many dealers and actually eventually be dealer specific.
Right.
Only dealers. So Performance Bodies, Motor State,
Right.
Crate Insider, and then we're expanding into the bulk and wholesale side. So the wholesale side consists of Weld Wheels call me and say, hey, now I need a pallet of this stuff.
Right.
And it being a pallet of one bolt.
Mm-hmm.
You know? That's the kind of stuff we're trying to work on. Really.
I mean, so my thing is the feeling, you're like, all right, I'm going to do it. I know I'm going to do it.
I'm scared, bro.
I mean, like, at the point you're like, okay, today's my last day. I hope this works. I hope I can pay my bills and support my family.
Yeah. And I didn't have a plan B. To this day, I still don't have a plan B. Like, if shit hits the fan, I guess I'm going back to ring. I have no idea.
I don't think you're going back.
No, that's terrible.
At least not to that department.
What?
Can't go back to that department.
No, air compressor sucks. Bad. But
I mean, dude, as a local guy, it helps us out. So instead of us, not to shame anybody, but going different places to get bolts, man, it's expensive, dude. Just to put a car together, it's really expensive.
yeah.
Now I can call you and say, hey, man, I got a rocket. Blue gray, I need. And you already know what I need. From shocks to putting panels together. You can make me 3 different bins for whatever I want.
Everything we do is custom. Fully custom. And when I first started this deal, Anthony had a vision of skipping the racing. He didn't even want to sell race car bolts or anything. I did. I wanted to sell these kits and all this other stuff because that's all I know.
Right.
I didn't know jack about industrial lag screws or anchor bolts or wedge bolts or galvan. I didn't know any of this. I had no idea. So somebody called me and said, hey, here's the application, what I need. Give me a price. I was like, I don't even know how to look that up. I'm a bolt guy. I didn't know anything about bolts.
Right.
So until I learned, I said, well, shit, I got all these race car bolts. Let me just put something together. And I started building those gray bins.
Yep.
I don't know if you've got one
Yep.
or not. Those were the original ones, the gray Durham bins.
We got 2 of them.
And I just started putting my bolts in there, and I made this kit. I was like, man, see if this will sell. And, dude, I started selling them left and right. Like, Mattis's got them. You guys got one. Everyone wanted one. And then I was like, I'm on to something here.
Right.
So we do now have a full line on our website, atcbolts.com. We've got everything for everybody's budget, whether it's $17 or whether it's $1,000 or $2,000. We have bolt bins. We got kits, big kits, small kits, chassis kits. We got it all, bro.
A lot of people
Saves a lot of time, a lot of headache.
a lot of times, a lot of people don't sell just bolt kits.
No one does.
No one, exactly. You're the only guy that does it.
We're the only business in the world that does what we do.
Because a lot of times, street stock, from street stocks to anything, race car wise, you just need a little bit of shock stuff and some body stuff. That's mostly where you're going to be changing out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, dude, if you do the math, if you buy this guy's kit and do the math, you're saving a lot of money buying from you.
In the whole scaler, you're saving a ton of money because every time you need a box of rivets or a box of bolts, you go to a race car.
Yeah.
And that box of rivets is $30, and it takes 3 hours out of your day to get there, and it takes 30 miles in fuel to get there. screw all that, dude. We can drop ship it right to you if you're not immediately local. But I mean, we keep that stuff here.
Right.
You just swing over, or I'll meet you. Whatever. You know, if you're going to the racetrack, I'll bring some stuff to the racetrack. That way, you're not spending more money in the long run than you have to.
What I like is if I call you, answer.
Yeah.
You know, you're not sitting on hold on Speedway or a race car forever.
Press 1 for parts. Press 2 for administration.
Press 3 to talk directly to Steve Brendle.
Well, that's cool. Yeah. It's been a wild ride. I've got to do some stuff. I got to do a lot of traveling that I've never.
I mean, the main thing is, you know, as I'm looking through it, you made the change, and to me, dude, I feel like you're spending more family time.
Maybe a little bit too much sometimes, but yeah, you get plenty of family time. Right now in the summer is always slow season. For the last 3 years, it's been like a brick wall. It's like busy, and then as soon as Speed Weeks is over, as soon as people kind of start traveling, man, it dies off.
Right.
So we take that time to focus on getting a hold of. We're actually working a deal with Performance Bodies.
Sweet.
And if I can get Performance Bodies, start selling our kits and stuff, man, that'd be next level.
Hell yeah.
So we start focusing on our dealers. Like, I mean, we've got Crate Insider. She's a direct dealer for us. We're working on some wholesale stuff for Kaiser Wheels and for Performance Bodies and Close Racing Supply. There's a ton of them out there. We're working on Smileys. We're working with a lot of them. It's seeds that you got to plant now, and maybe 6 months later,
Right.
You might hear something.
You know, and nobody needs bolts right now, but everybody needs bolts right now.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean by that. When they call, hey, I need some stuff right now. Well, Jack, that ain't how it works.
Yeah.
That ain't how it works.
Foster says we let anybody on the show.
Yeah. That's why he's not on the show.
He's not cool enough.
He's definitely
He's not a badass.
No.
I mean, he drives a late model, but he's not a badass.
He's kind of cool, but he's not a badass. He's not Carl. He's not Carl.
He's not Carl
material.
Edition, bro.
He's not Carl material.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Don't watch that too much family time. We're laughing, maybe.
Too much family time.
I mean, dude, I think it's cool though. Like,
sometimes, not all the time. It's nice.
Did you even think you would be traveling the world with your family and
No.
be able to do it and be able to afford it? Is the
That is a gamble every time we go somewhere. Not a lot of people know this, but when we went to the Bristol Nationals last year, as everyone knows, the first year was this massive blowout, and everybody and their freaking brother went.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next year, I put all my eggs in that basket.
right,
It cost me like $15,000 to go there,
right,
and I made no money. Like, nobody showed up. I think there was 40-some super late models there, and there's a couple crates, and that's it.
right.
There was like 602 crates. It was ridiculous. It was a flop, and that deal right there hurt me bad to bounce back from, because I had stocked up all this stuff.
You put everything in
I
there.
put everything into that deal, and we left early. It was a 2-week deal. We left early, and we went to I-75 for a American Crate Series with Joe Rush. It was actually on the way home. He called me. Actually, I don't know if he called me or I called him. I was like, hey, where's some races right here for me to try to make some money? And we went to I-75, and man, that was awesome, Joe. I got to go there, got to go here, got to go to Bulls Gap, all on the way home. It was a good time, but every time you hit the road, it's a gamble.
Right.
Because you could do the same thing that I did last year and blow out 6 tires on the way to Charlotte, and it cost you $4,000. I mean, it's a gamble.
Yeah, anytime you do any kind of trackside business, it's like I said, it's a gamble. I mean, even with the photography stuff, there was nights we lost money doing photography.
Right.
And when you're at a go-kart race from 7 o'clock in the morning to 1 o'clock the next morning and you've lost money, not a good feeling.
No.
But there are nights where you make money and it makes it worth it. And the people you meet doing it, too, is awesome. I'm sure you've met a lot of great people.
I've got to meet a ton of people. I mean, people that I never even dreamed about saying hi to at the pits in the Winter Nationals when all the big wigs come down. Like, I never thought I would be cool enough to even talk to them. But then now my name's on the side of their race car, and they call me when they need stuff.
On everybody's race car. All the big guys.
For instance, Hunk Front. Like, that's the biggest name you can come up with. And my name's on the side of the car. They call me every time they need something. They're good dudes. I got to go and spend. We went up to that race, that 20,000 win race that they did.
Yeah.
Last year, I think it was, or the year before. And we got to spend a bunch of time with them up in their shop and hang out with their family and all kinds of. We all eat dinner together. It was a good time. But you get to meet some of the coolest people. I mean, we went to PRI, and that was not really even a planned deal. We were at Gateway Nationals. We didn't even have a booth. We didn't even plan on having a booth. And my good buddy at Dirt Car Lift, Cody King and Dean Delmar, they're the owners and manager of it.
Mm-hmm.
They were at the Gateway, and they asked if we were going to PRI. PRI was only 3 hours from the Gateway.
Right.
I was like, I don't know. Probably we'll swing over there, check it out. I don't have a booth. A booth is like $7,000.
Right.
He's like, dude, just bring a table and set up a table at our booth. We'll share it.
He didn't have to do that.
Yeah, he didn't do that. And man, that was a good time. I got to meet some of the biggest names in racing.
Like Brandon Yates.
Yeah, Brandon Yates.
Badass.
I got to see Mike Boyd and Steve Boyd. I don't know if you know who that is.
Oh, I don't know, dude.
They were there.
I wish I could meet them.
They were there. It was pretty cool. Tony Stewart came over, and I got to meet Tony Stewart from the Million last year. We had a little incident at the Million, and Tony Stewart came over, and he offered to babysit my kids. It was the wildest thing, man.
That's badass.
It was cool. He had his toter actually right next to mine on the entry gate, and he's like, if you need anything, I was like, well, I'm trying to figure out what to do with my kids or whatever. And he's like, see that white toter over there? Open the door. The code is this. Throw them in there and lock the door. Oh. And I'm going in there and we'll just hang out. I was like, oh, okay. I don't think I'll do that.
You're like, is this guy for real right now?
Yeah,
Is
really?
Stewart really talking to me? Tell me about my kids and this toter? Load up, we're going.
Exactly. But it was cool. Just stories like that. We locked in a deal with Earnhardt Technologies. I got to meet, I don't even know what his title is, but he's like one of the big guys. His name's Gaston Sheely, and him and Steve Menard are partners, I guess, in the Earnhardt deal. And I just happened to walk through there, and we were looking at some of the stuff, and I didn't know him, and I said, hey, where you guys buying your bolts from? And he's like, the local hardware store. I was like, I wouldn't tell nobody that. Y'all are selling the top-notch stuff. He goes, like every business cards, they call me. We're wholesale. We'll get you bulk on everything. We'll get you a heck of a price on it all. And, dude, he called me. He called me right after the show. He was like, give me a list. And he sent me this massive list. And actually, for the Nationals, they all came down for the Winter Nationals at East Bay. And he got a pallet of stuff to take back up there.
Hell yeah.
It was great. I mean, just relationships like that, they still call me every week. It's just ProFab headers. That's another big one. They call me every week or every other week, whatever, for the stuff that they need for all their headers and whatever.
But now, bro, now, you can walk in the pits and people come up and be like, hey, man, how you doing, buddy? Like, they know who ATC is, bro.
They know who I am, but to be honest with you, there's a lot of local people down here that think that I'm too good for them now. I don't know. It's weird. I've heard a lot of things like, oh, you're big money now. You ain't got time for us little guys. No, the little guys is where I make my money. That's my bread and butter is the little guys calling me saying, hey, I need 50 of these and 20 of these.
He's talking about us when we walk by. That's what we yell at.
I mean, I just talk shit to him.
He's
Talk
usually-
shit to him.
he's usually-
So-
he's usually busy
So-
with people, so we don't want to bother him.
No, it's not everybody. It's a few select people, and there's not even anybody that I know. I just hear it to the grapevine.
Right.
People are like, oh, you're big money. You're too good to talk to us now. Hang out
If
with
they're
us.
talking shit, it means you're doing something right.
Well, exactly. If I'm stepping on toes and doing
Don't
something.
matter if they're booing or cheering as long as they're making noise.
Yeah.
That's right.
They're
They're
making
watching.
noise.
That's all that matters.
I think today though solidifies that you still care about the little guys. 'Cause
I
you're
care about the
here
little
with the
guys more than I care about
podcast.
Yeah, we're a bunch
anybody
of
else.
nobodies.
The little guys is my bread and butter. And I mean that wholeheartedly.
So, we'll get back to this. We'll go get back to some of these questions.
Okay. And if they all got questions in the comments,
Yeah, I'll shoot them down.
as long as they're not
We did have one.
inappropriate,
We did have
y'all
one.
have it.
Well, we have one. Where's Thomas?
So, Thomas had a little family thing going on, man. I don't want to put his business out there, but what?
And real Carl's got a new name.
Missing Carl.
Carl.
So, real Carl, yeah, Stephen Hallball, I don't know, man. He just didn't show up. I mean, it is what it is.